This movie is just ridiculous. I just got back from watching Oldboy, the 2013 Spike Lee remake of Wook-Park's film. And it leaves me wondering if this is a parody version of that movie, because I haven't seen the original Oldboy. I'm curious. I'm really curious what the original Oldboy is like, because it's ridiculous. It's funny in, I'm guessing, an unintentional way, but I'm not really sure. And it's just over the top. Like, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun movie, but it's also just, it's so bad it's good. Like, Josh Brolin is the star of this movie. He plays Joe Doucette, and I feel like he's imitating, like, it felt like an imitation of someone else's performance. It just didn't feel like, it was, I don't even know, I can't explain it. It's like they're playing, everyone in this movie is playing like this very caricature version of somebody, which makes it kind of hard to really feel anything for anyone or take it seriously at all. And as well, the plot of the movie is so ridiculous. I mean, going into it and watching the trailer for it, I was excited. It looked like this dark, twisted, like, creepy, disturbing kind of film, which it is in some capacity, depending on how you watch it, I guess. For me, watching it, I guess I'm not, like, I can't take stuff like this seriously, even when it's trying to be serious sometimes. I was laughing throughout the whole film, and I had to do it discreetly because many people in my audience weren't laughing. My friend who I was with was laughing too. Basically, if you don't know the plot, Joe Doucette is this asshole, alcoholic, bad father, a divorced man, and he basically is captured by some unknown person and is locked in this room for 20 years, and he's framed for the rape and murder of his ex-wife. So everyone thinks that he's disappeared because he's committed this murder. Meanwhile, he's just been kept captive for all this time and has nothing to do with the crime and has no idea why he's been locked up or anything. After 20 years, he gets released, and he's on this quest to meet his daughter, who is now an adult, and also to find who captured him and to kill that person. But that person, played by Charlton Copley, in this film, he is kind of perfect and kind of insane. Like, because of him, you can't, like, solely because of him, anything in this movie goes from dark and disturbing to just outrageous. Like, he is so funny and so ridiculous and just, like, this very animated kind of villain who does not feel like he takes place in any real sort of world. He gives Joe this kind of ultimatum that if Joe can figure out why he was kept captive for 20 years and who he is, he'll let Joe go, give him riches, kill himself, and let him be with his daughter again. And if he can't figure it out, and he has like 2 days to do this, if he can't figure it out, then his daughter's gonna die. So Joe takes his ultimatum, and he meets this young doctor, played by Elizabeth Olsen, named Marie, and they together kind of work on this case and figuring out who this guy is. Now, I thought this was gonna be some real, like, mind game, some really twisted, hard to figure out, like, puzzle. I went into the film knowing there was this big twist, and I guess I was just expecting something a little bit more mind-boggling than what happens in the movie. I'm not gonna say I predicted it, but the ending didn't shock or surprise me. It was just like, oh, it just didn't do it for me. Like, the twist, it's clever, but I was expecting something so much more, like, and Joe and Marie kind of figure it out just pretty easily. It doesn't take much to find out. It's this big build-up to this mystery, and you see Joe in this room for a long time, and then you see Joe killing all these random people. He basically kills anyone he comes into contact with after he escapes. And it's this whole build-up, and then the whole big mystery of the movie is revealed pretty quickly. Like, it's just one they figure out who he is, and it's one flashback memory, and it's like, okay, we got this all figured out. For as ridiculous of a movie as it is, I had fun watching it, so I'm not gonna say it's a horrible film. It's not amazing. It's not like what I was hoping for, which would be something like deeply dark and disturbing and psychological, and it is, but it isn't. It wants to be, but the way it's executed does not make it that. If it had a darker tone, or if it had like scarier acting, or just like more intense acting, and not these really animated caricature comic booky type of performances, it might have been something a little bit more impactful and dark. But instead, this movie comes off a little bit like as a joke, and it's a little bit soap opera-y, and it's just like over the top and ridiculous to the point where you can't really feel much for it, other than, for me, it was just like laughter. It reminded me a little bit of Only God Forgives, which is another really polarizing film that came out earlier this year, which is also highly violent. A lot of fight sequences, a lot of violence, and just like jokey stuff. Like just so ridiculous. Like, one scene that stands out to me in this movie that I just thought was so ridiculous and just made me like laugh was, he's so lonely in this room, and he befriends like a mouse, a pregnant mouse, and him and the mouse are like playing together and stuff. And then the next day for dinner, he gets served, like, he loses the mouse, and the next day his dinner that he gets served is the mouse and all its babies. Like, it's just, it tries to be like some deeply psychotic and dark and gross out kind of thing, but like the extent of it is just too ridiculous to take seriously. It's just like, it made me laugh a lot. So I had fun. I think Oldboy is a fun movie. I don't think it's something you should pay to watch in theaters. It's kind of like that campy, weird, random shit you'll find on TV late one night. Like, watch it then, in that case, when it's free on your digital whatever, video on demand. But anyways, that's my review of Oldboy, which I am giving a C+, because I had fun, but I also just don't think it's very good in a good film kind of way, more like in a entertaining kind of way is how I enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you for watching my review. I'm Adriana, and my blog is Fresh from the Theater. If you like what you see, please subscribe.